America, land of the free, home of the brave, and let's face it, the undisputed champion of waiting. We wait for everything. Coffee, elections, that friend who's always late. It's practically woven into the fabric of our national identity. We're like those people in line for a new iPhone, except the iPhone is the American dream, and the line never actually seems to move. Now, some waiting is understandable. We're a nation of 330 million after all. Things take time. But there's a difference between a reasonable wait and the soul-crushing purgatory of American delays. It's the difference between waiting for your food at a restaurant and waiting for your food at a restaurant that's also a DMV located inside a time warp. And here's the kicker. While some things seem to take an eternity, others hit you faster than a cheetah on a sugar rush. Take getting sick, for instance. One minute you're healthy as a horse, the next you're basically a petri dish for whatever new plague is trending. So tonight on Last Week Tonight, we're diving headfirst into the wonderful world of American delays. We'll explore the good, the bad, and the downright absurd. We'll ask the tough questions like, why does it take so long to get a loan? And is it just me, or are trains getting slower? Buckle up, America, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Let's start with something near and dear to my heart, public transportation, specifically trains. Now, I'm British. We love a good train, it's in our DNA, but here in America, trains are less about efficient travel and more about testing your faith in humanity. Delays are so common, they're practically part of the schedule. Arriving on time is like spotting a unicorn riding a Bigfoot. Sure, it's technically possible, but you're probably hallucinating. And don't even get me started on Amtrak. Trying to get from New York to DC on Amtrak is like playing a real-life game of chutes and ladders, except the chutes are derailments, and the ladders are just slightly less delayed trains. The reasons for these delays are as varied as they are infuriating. Mechanical issues, signal problems, the occasional flock of geese on the tracks. Look, I'm not an engineer, but I'm pretty sure we can do better than this. This is America, for crying out loud. We put a man on the moon, but we can't get a train from Boston to New York without it feeling like a cross-country expedition. Next up, let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, money, or rather the lack thereof. Specifically, the agonizing process of getting a loan in this country. Whether you're buying a house, starting a business, or just trying to consolidate your crippling student debt, one thing's for sure. You're going to be waiting a while. The loan approval process is like a Kafka-esque nightmare, filled with endless paperwork, credit checks, and enough jargon to make your head spin. You'll be asked to provide documents you didn't even know existed, like your third-grade report card and a DNA sample from your pet goldfish. And God forbid you have any questions. Trying to get a straight answer out of a loan officer is like trying to nail jelly to a wall. And the worst part? Even after you've jumped through all the hoops, there's no guarantee you'll actually get approved. You could spend weeks, even months, navigating this financial labyrinth, only to be rejected at the last minute because your debt-to-income ratio is off by 1/10 of a percentage point. It's enough to make you want to bury your money in the backyard and become a hermit. Now, I know what you're thinking, John, this is all very depressing. Can't we talk about something a little more uplifting, like love? Sure, we can talk about love, or more accurately, the agonizing wait for love. Because let's be honest, finding the one these days is about as easy as finding a sober person in a tequila factory. We've got dating apps, matchmaking services, even reality TV shows dedicated to helping people find love. But despite all this, millions of Americans are still single and waiting for that special someone to swipe right, waiting for their soulmate to magically appear at their local coffee shop, waiting for their parents to stop setting them up with weird neighbors. And even when you do find someone you connect with, there's the inevitable talking stage, which is basically relationship purgatory. You're not dating, you're not dating, you're just existing in this weird nebulous space where you're constantly overanalyzing text messages and trying to decipher the meaning behind emojis. It's enough to make you want to swear off love altogether and become a cat person. But let's not forget about one of the most frustrating delays of all, justice. The American legal system is supposed to be a beacon of fairness and efficiency, but in reality, it's often a slow and cumbersome machine, bogged down by bureaucracy, underfunding, and a backlog of cases that would make your head spin. Whether you're a victim seeking justice, a defendant fighting for your freedom, or just a regular person caught in the legal crossfire, one thing's for sure, you're in for a long wait. Court dates get postponed, trials get delayed, and cases drag on for months, even years. And all the while, the wheels of justice grind slowly, painfully, and often at a snail's pace. This delay has real consequences. Victims are denied closure, defendants languish in jail, and the public's faith in the legal system erodes a little bit more each day. It's a stark reminder that justice delayed is often justice denied. And that's not just a catchy phrase, it's a sad reality for far too many Americans. Now let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something that doesn't involve waiting, getting sick. Because unlike all the other things we've discussed, illness has a nasty habit of sneaking up on you when you least expect it. One minute you're feeling fine, the next you're basically a walking biohazard zone. It's like the universe's cruel joke. You can wait years for a loan to get approved, but the second a new virus hits town, you're the first one to catch it. You can spend months trying to get a date, but the moment you finally feel a glimmer of hope, bam! You're struck down with the flu. It's enough to make you think the universe has a sick sense of humor. And the worst part is, there's no rhyme or reason to it. You can eat healthy, exercise regularly, and still get flattened by a common cold. Meanwhile, your friend who subsists on a diet of pizza and beer seems to have an immune system made of steel. It's enough to make you want to scream into the void. So, what's the deal with all this waiting? Why is it that in a country known for its innovation and efficiency, we seem to tolerate such absurd delays in so many aspects of our lives? It's a question that's puzzled philosophers, comedians, and anyone who's ever waited in line at the DMV. Some argue that it's simply a matter of population density. With so many people crammed into such a large country, things are bound to take time. Others point to bureaucratic inefficiencies, outdated infrastructure, and a general lack of urgency. And then there's the American obsession with individualism, which often comes at the expense of collective efficiency. But whatever the reason, one thing's for sure. We've become accustomed to waiting. We've accepted it as an unavoidable part of life, like traffic jams and reality TV. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this way. We can do better. We can demand more from our institutions, our infrastructure, and ourselves. We can strive for a future where delays are the exception, not the norm. Because here's the thing about delays. They're not just inconvenient, they're costly. They cost us time, money, and most importantly, our sanity. Think about it. Every hour you spend stuck in traffic is an hour you could be spending with your loved ones, pursuing your passions, or just enjoying some well-deserved downtime. Every day your loan application sits in limbo is another day you're racking up interest, delaying your dreams, and feeling the weight of financial uncertainty. And every moment you spend waiting for justice is another moment that justice is denied, another moment that the scales of fairness remain unbalanced. These delays have a ripple effect, impacting not just individuals but our society as a whole. They stifle innovation, erode trust, and create a sense of collective frustration. They remind us that we're not living in the most efficient version of America, and that's a tough pill to swallow. And nowhere is the cost of waiting more apparent than in our healthcare system. Remember how we talked about the immediacy of getting sick? Well, that immediacy doesn't always extend to getting treatment. In fact, navigating the American healthcare system can often feel like running a marathon through a bureaucratic minefield. You've got insurance companies to deal with, appointments to schedule, specialists to consult. And don't even get me started on the bills. It's enough to make you want to self-diagnose using WebMD and a rusty spoon. And all the while, your condition could be worsening, your anxiety could be mounting, and the clock could be ticking. This is the cruel irony of it all. We live in a country where you can order a pizza on your phone and have it delivered in 30 minutes, but good luck getting a doctor's appointment within the next month. We can access information at lightning speed, but accessing affordable, timely healthcare, that's a different story. The healthcare paradox. Fast symptoms, slow solutions. This disconnect between the urgency of illness and the glacial pace of our healthcare system is a microcosm of the larger issue at hand. We've become so accustomed to delays in certain aspects of our lives that we've accepted them as inevitable. But when it comes to our health, time is of the essence. Delays can have life or death consequences. So why the double standard? Why do we tolerate such inefficiencies in a system that's literally responsible for our well-being? It's a question that deserves our attention, our outrage, and our collective action. We need to demand better from our healthcare system, just as we need to demand better from all our institutions and systems that seem to prioritize delays over efficiency. A call for balance, embracing efficiency, preserving patience. Now, I'm not saying we need to become a nation of impatient, demanding jerks. There's something to be said for patience, for understanding that good things come to those who wait. But there's a difference between patience and passive acceptance. There's a difference between waiting your turn and being taken for a ride. We need to find a balance. We need to embrace efficiency without sacrificing empathy. We need to demand better from our systems without losing sight of our humanity. It's a delicate dance, but it's one we need to learn if we want to create a society that values both progress and people. In the meantime, we wait. So, what can we do while we wait for this utopian future to arrive? Well, we can start by acknowledging the absurdity of it all. We can find humor in the frustration, camaraderie in the shared experience of waiting. We can share our stories, vent our frustrations, and maybe even bond over a collective eye roll. Because laughter, as they say, is the best medicine. And in a country where delays are practically a national pastime, a little laughter might be just what the doctor ordered. The end, or is it just another beginning? And on that note, I'm afraid we're out of time, but don't worry, I'm sure we'll have plenty of opportunities to revisit this topic in the future. After all, this is America, and if there's one thing we're good at, it's waiting. Until next time, try not to pull your hair out. Or if you do, at least save some for me. I have a feeling I'll need it.